Hi everyone, it's Mary with Happy Pine Soap. Welcome back. Today we're going to learn how to do the Taiwan Circling Swirl. This is a gorgeous soap design and definitely one of my favorites. I hope you enjoy. Today's colors are absolutely beautiful. We have Mad Mica Sour Lemons, and again I pre-dispersed this into some lightweight oil. We have Tangerine Dream, also a favorite. All of these are at 1/4 teaspoon to 1 teaspoon lightweight oil. I used sweet almond oil for my lightweight oil. Peach taffy, which is one of my favorite colors. Again, dispersed at that 1/4 teaspoon mica to 1 teaspoon lightweight oil. We have candy apple, which was a great red. I was really impressed with it. It behaved wonderfully and stayed true. And then the last color is Seafoam Green from Elements Bath & Body. And our fragrance is going to be from Brambleberry. This is called Backwoods Hike, and it is supposed to behave wonderfully in cold process soap. You definitely do not want an accelerating fragrance for this recipe. And I have the oils all measured out already. In addition, I have some pre-mixed titanium dioxide in olive oil. And I keep it in this bag here, and I like to give it a really good smush before I use it so that there's no white specks in the recipe. Here we have our mold. I believe I got this on Amazon. This is great for the Taiwan Swirl because it has these wonderful dividers that will make it very easy to do this design. You simply will set them up beforehand and you are pretty much good to go. In addition, you want a chopstick or another similar thin tool. This will be used to make our beautiful swirls. This recipe is about a 3-pound recipe, and I'm starting with my oils a little bit warmer at 102 degrees, and my lye is at about 90 degrees. It helps to pour the lye solution over a spatula to try and reduce air bubbles. So go ahead and add that carefully. This recipe is a palm-free recipe. I have noticed that to get completely smooth soap with absolutely no white specks or wire cutting bumps or steric spots, that I have to go completely palm free. So this recipe is, and it's one of my favorites because it stays fluid for a very long time. And the soap, the finished soap, is so incredibly creamy and smooth. So I stick blended this for about 20 seconds in like 2 separate bursts, about 10 seconds each. And I'm adding the fragrance oil at the end, as you can see here. And each color will get approximately 3.6 ounces of soap batter as well. After I did my colors, I went ahead and added the pre-mixed titanium dioxide to make the main part of the soap batter a beautiful white, and I found that I had to add just a bit more after this to get the white color that was desired for my design. You can see here I added the extra bit of titanium dioxide, and again, look at how creamy this soap batter is. It's just absolutely one of my favorites. And now that my separate colored mini batches are separated into the 3.6 ounces for each color, I am adding my micas now so that we can get our colors ready to go for pouring our beautiful Taiwan Circling Swirl design. All right, so now what you're going to do essentially is a one-pot wonder for our colored part of our Taiwan Swirl. And essentially I am pouring all the colors down the side of a pour container. And you want to pour them down the side as opposed to just down the middle, because you're trying not to disturb the lower soap layers. So each one will get poured down the side, as you see here. Now you are ready to start the design. You will start by pouring the white batter into both the top and bottom 1/3 of the loaf mold. As you see here, I'm trying to carefully get the white in without accidentally getting any in the middle part. So the middle part will be where our colors go. So you want to fill the white soap batter to about 1 inch to the top, from the top basically. So you leave a little bit of room at the top, and you'll see why here in just a minute when we are done getting the colored part in as well. So now you see me pouring the colored part carefully down the middle. This is kind of a fun way to do the Taiwan swirl, because the colors, as you begin to use the soap, you'll go through different colors as the soap starts to get worn down from use, which is kind of a fun, reminds me of the candy, the Jawbreaker candy with all the different colored layers. So it's kind of a fun design as well. And now you'll be taking out your plastic dividers carefully. I had a red bowl you see there at the top ready to carefully place them in to try to cut down on how much mess these dividers make when you pull them out. And the last little bit, which is why I mentioned not to fill the soap all the way up to the top, is because you'll be adding just a little bit extra from both the white portion and the colored portion to fill it to the remainder, to the top of the mold. So first I did the colored part, and then I added a bit more of the white batter to try and get the soap all the way up to the top of the mold before I started swirling. All right, now we're ready to swirl. You want to put your chopstick all the way down to the bottom of the mold. And as you see, you'll start to just make these vertical motions that are pretty much up and down. And you drag the chopstick slightly over before you continue the next swirl. And it's pretty simple. It's just a simple up and down pattern, as you see me doing. And then once you reach your end of your mold, you're going to take your chopstick, and again, it is pushed all the way down to the bottom of the mold, and you are going to start swirling. And I did 3 full circles around the exterior of the mold before I was pretty satisfied. Then I kind of liked how the pattern looked. And once you're done swirling in your circular pattern, you will carefully remove the chopstick from the corner. I went ahead and oven processed this, which basically means you turn your oven on to the lowest temperature it has. In this case, my oven, it's 170 degrees. Then you turn it off, you put your soap in, and leave the oven light on, and then I left it in there for 3 hours. This recipe was ready to cut in about 8 hours. So we're actually going to cut this loaf into half, about 3-inch pieces, as you see me doing. It was a little bit over 3 inches, I believe. And then you're going to cut down the actual side of the soap to reveal the pattern. And as you can see, this beautiful swirl is starting to show up here. Yeah, so this is a different type of cut. We're not doing the loaf cut where you see like the multi-wire cutters. We actually have to cut horizontally through the loaf to have the pattern show up. I went ahead and cut each of the 3-inch pieces into half. This makes them a perfect palm-sized bar, and I was pretty happy with the size of the soap. And last but not least, I really like to clean my bars up with a vegetable peeler. This one is from IKEA, and it's really sharp and is super easy to bevel the sides of my soap and clean it up. And here you can see the blue portion of my Taiwan Swirl. This is the top half of the soap. And because this basically is a one-pot wonder within this design, I actually had 2 separate colors show up. And here is the red portion. And as I mentioned, as you use this soap, it's kind of fun because the colors morph and change as the soap starts to dissolve over time, which adds a bit of extra fun. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to drop any comments below if you have any questions. If you really enjoyed this, I would love your support. You can leave a like or subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next soapy video. Take care, everybody.